Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Magnificent Mags channel. Now this is just a quick video, it won't be too long. As you can see, I'm dressed up, I'm out for my work Christmas party in town soon. So yeah, well, let's get into it. Almost. Last thing I just want to cover for the Liverpool game was, look, what I meant is a couple of questions on Lewis Hall having a great game, but Salah got 2 goals and an assist. What I meant was in the context of it is he pocketed him first half, but then Salah can pop up at any minute. Yes, he could have stopped the cross, but Tonali was the one tracking Curtis Jones. And then Joe Linton and Murphy faffed about, lost the ball, bad game management when we're 2-1 ahead for the equaliser. But again, yes, Salah can pop up at any time. He's world class, his movement, his balance, his turn of pace, his dribbling, his finishing. Honestly, seeing him in the flesh, you'll realise how good he is, just than what you see on telly for those who don't go to games. And yeah, and that's what we need to be a little bit better at, because yeah, I'm still on a high. It's been great, excellent result against the league leader, but now we need to do that against these other teams. Like I've said, the Brentfords, the Leicesters, Brentford again in the Cup, and then Ipswich at Portman Road. So yeah, we've got to nail down with game management a bit better, because you can't go full throttle every game because it'll tire players. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that, cover a couple of things, because yeah, for game management being better at 2-1 up or 2-2, we mightn't have fell behind or conceded that second equaliser. So yeah, it's just one of them things. Yeah, we're trying to be a bit too Keegan-like. It reminds us of the entertainers when I was a Bairn growing up, watching that team from when he first came in and constructed it, all the way to when he left. It reminds us of that, all the hallmarks, which was typical on a night he was meant to be there, and the war flags display didn't happen, but there you go, it's just what it is. So anyway, moving on to Brentford. So yeah, moving on to the Brentford game. Now, I've checked a couple of stats. I'm going to refer to my crib sheet here because there was a lot to remember off the top of my head. So we do have a favourable record against them. It's massively in our favour, but again, past form counts for nothing. But I am going to go into it because I do like a stat. Last time we lost at Brentford was the 22nd of December 2020. I mean, you don't want reminded of that. It was the League Cup defeat, 1-0 to Steve Bruce, COVID behind doors, when we thought something might save a dire season under him. But yeah, we went out with a whimper like we did at Hull City under him and all that, and all the other FA Cup exits, it felt the same. So that was the last time we lost there in any game there, but the last time we lost there in the league was actually the 17th of January 1948. Now, I will apply a caveat to that. Obviously, they've been out the top division for a number of years before they came back up a few seasons ago. But yeah, 17th of January 1948, the old League Division 2. We lost there 1-0. Now, Brentford lost 3-1 on Wednesday night at Aston Villa, who got back to winning ways. But our last 3 visits to Brentford have got an aggregate of 8-3. We've won 2-0, 2-1 and 4-2, which was on the final day of last season, the 19th of May this year. And we're currently kind of level in the table. Like Brentford at 11th, we're 12th, both locked on 20 points. But Brentford have won 6, drew 2 and lost 6. 6 defeats all away from home, with 1 draw. And then at home they've won 6 out of 7, drawn 1. That was the West Ham at the end of September. And we've got a record of 1-5, drew 5, lost 4. So yeah, we are kind of similar teams, but again, like we know past form counts for nothing. It's going to be a really difficult game at Brentford tomorrow. I mean, because the home record's phenomenal. There's such an anomaly this season. Like, the bees are stinging everyone at home, but the wings are being clipped away from home, to use an analogy. But it's just strange. But yeah, I mean, the only away win they've got this season in any competition is back in August. They won 1-0 at Lea Road, Colchester, down in Essex in the League Cup. And then the only point they got away from home was at Goodison Park, 0-0, when they happened to be down to 10 men. So yeah, strange one. But for them, their top scorers are Johan Wissa with 8, who's also joint with Bryan Mbeumo. 2 brilliant players, because Brentford play really fast, especially on transitions. Fast wingers, fast attackers. So they're the danger men tomorrow. And again, Bryan Mbeumo is someone we've been linked with. And I'd love to get him. But again, you think, will there be the English tax in there because he's playing in the Premier League? will Brentford try and take more money out of it like Palace did and Parish with the Gahey deal? So yeah, you've just got to think of these things. Could we get him? I'd love to get him in January. Some other levers might need to be moved in that, the PSR, to get him, but he's such a class player, and I think he would solve a right-wing problem. That's if we don't look abroad. But again, we don't know what we might do then. And Thomas Frank, just to finally, on the last of Brentford, he says he's hoping to have Christopher Ayer back at the right back and Christian Norgard in midfield. But yeah, that's Brentford. Onto the tune. So yeah, moving on to us. I've watched the Eddie Howe's press conference this morning. I'm not going to go on too much about it because, yeah, Luke Edwards asked him about Gordon's celebration, which he didn't see, but I've covered that yesterday. And then Craig Hope said top players perform week in and week out, and could you say we're the same without labelling with Spursy, who he used as a comparison to? I mean, I think we are in the same bracket as Spurs. I wouldn't say we're Spursy, but because that's a term for them. But and C's point saying that if we want to be a top team like the Cities, the Arsenals, and that, we need to be performing our best players like Isak, Gordon, Tonali, and Bruno did on Wednesday night perform consistently. But yeah, that's what I've said before. If we find the consistency against these type of teams, then we'll be all the better for it. Because yeah, Brentford's home form this season, as I've said, they've got 19 points out of their 20 at home. They've been imperious, but look at this way. I'm going to use a comparison. Records there to be broken. I mean, you can go back to Forest. Forest were flying third place. I didn't think we might win. I was just thinking, yeah, they're great form. Would come back and haunt we, like he did at Boxing Day at St James's, where he turned into Messi, as I said, like these finishes. But we neutralised them. We're excellent, especially second half, but a lot of the first half too. And then if you go back to January, I was at Villa Park. Villa hadn't lost at home in 11, 12 months. And you just thought, yeah, we got the 5-1 win on the opening day of last season. Tonali's debut when he scored, but then you think, ooh, like we're going for the Champions League, beating everyone. But then turned up that night and we beat them. It was, if I remember right, Fabian Schär got 2 and Jacob Murphy. So again, we ended Villa's home record. So again, yes, you've got to admire and respect what Brentford have done, but we've got to be going to these teams. We're bigger. We've got to show the right that we are better than Brentford. We've got to go there, show consistency, that aggressiveness. But again, like I said, it's got to be controlled. So if we take the lead or we've got pressure, control the game. Don't commit too many forward. What we done the other night was great. We've just got to have the trigger point. So press at the right times, be brave on the ball, pass between the lines, make runs. Yes, there might be times where the attack breaks down, they're on transition, but you've got to be brave enough to think, right, this will happen sometimes. That's football, especially with playmakers, and you've got to just be prepared for the transition. So I'd just say, be brave, get the runners in, take pot shots, anything could happen, because we know Brentford this season, they've been coming out the trap, so go for it. Just go for it. Just be measured in what they do, time your press as well, time your runs well, and just pick them off. We have got better players, in my opinion. As I think, yeah, Damsgaard's decent. Norgard is if he's back. But if you look at it this way, we've got to just neutralise Wissa and Mbeumo, who've really stepped up since Ivan Toney left. Newcastle injury news. He says Sven Botman, good news. Although he's not back probably till January. He is back in training. He's been training with a group, 11v11 games, but he's still about 3 weeks off, he said, from being back in competitive action, or at least seen him on the bench. And now he did signal caution over Alexander Isak, Sandro Tonali, that they were a bit fatigued. I mean, both of them the other night, they ran themselves into the ground, and you wouldn't be surprised if they were, but let's just hope they are both fit. But what he could do is bring in Callum Wilson and Joe Willock. No problem with that. If we can bring Tonali and Isak off the bench, if they're fit, you'd start them, but we've got the bench, utilise the bench, so that's what we need to do. So yeah, that's some encouraging news. But yeah, we know that they did run themselves into the ground, but we all know Eddie Howe's press conferences, don't we? Is he telling the truth half the time? He's very good at subterfuge, so take what he says sometimes as a pinch of salt, because he does try and throw the opposition manager off. But yeah, like I said, tonight I'm at my work Christmas party, and tomorrow I'm out on an annual session town again, Hair the Dog, with a lot of friends who we meet up with annually. So I'm looking forward to that. I couldn't get a ticket for Brentford, so that's why I'm doing that. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll keep an eye on the score and do a summary of what I've watched on Sunday. But I might do an instant reaction to the scoreline when I'm in town tomorrow, but I can't promise what state I may be in all honesty, if I remember to. But yeah, but I'm at the next few. I'll be at Leicester, I'll be at Brentford, then I'm down in Ipswich, and then obviously Villa. But yeah, that's it for now. That's just what I wanted to say. Me prediction for tomorrow, I think Newcastle will win 3-1. I'm going 3-1. Isak will get it back on the score sheet. And I'm finally predicting Tonali will bag his only second goal for it too. But anyway, yeah, short and sweet. Thank you very much for anyone who's tuned in at my second video of the day, and anyone who's watched the earlier one on the Andy Madley fallout from Wednesday. But as I've said before, I really appreciate everyone who's followed the channel, who likes, subscribes, turn that notification on. You'll get all the content when it drops. Subscribe if you want to. That's really appreciated too. Honestly, it just helped the channel grow. Just want to bring my own new unique perspective to these matches in Newcastle United, and I just hope it's something different and it's interesting. And any support, honestly, just finding me way, and everyone's been brilliant so far. The feedback and follows and comments have been overwhelming, so I can't thank you enough. But anyway, for now, that's me off to town. I have a few drinks or 20. Thank you again, and have a brilliant weekend. And let's hope Newcastle bring 3 points home tomorrow so it can really build on and push the season on. Bye-bye for now.